meeting of the Benner Township Board of Supervisors to order. First order of business is pledge allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming out. We have a short agenda, a couple of topics to cover. We've got a minor issue with a bridge that has come out, sort of an emergency nature. We'll get to that after we do the public comments. We have a period now provided for public comments. I understand that many of you may be here as a result of actions that we took at the reorganization meeting last Tuesday. So with that, happy to hear some thoughts relative to the actions that we took.
And I just want to announce for the record that obviously, even though Mr. Wise announced before we opened the meeting that we were going into executive session, obviously we just held an executive session to discuss personnel issues, so we need to have that on the record. So, sorry, Dave.
That's perfectly fine. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm not a resident of Benner Township. I reside in Spring Township. But I understand that there will be, I guess I should use the term, no zoning. I do believe that Randy Moyer ran on a thing that said, you own it, you zone it. Yes, I live in Spring Township, as I stated. But Benner Township adjoins my property. And rather than go backwards, I'm wondering why we chose that avenue. Why are we not trying to go forward and keep our rules and regulations in place rather than let it be a, shall I use the term, free-for-all? May I have a comment on that, Mr. Moyer?
Well, I don't think we're getting rid of zoning.
Okay.
You know, that's, I live in Benner Township,
Yes, sir.
you know, and I have, I've worked in Benner Township. And I think some of our zoning's way out of base.
Okay, but
I didn't say I never said we're getting rid of it. I mean, that's just a nice little catchy slogan. We had 25 signs.
but you did state when you were running that you own it, you zone it.
Well, that's one of my signs, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
there's a lot of things stated, but it didn't, nowhere did
Well,
it say
you're-
that I'm getting rid of zoning.
Okay, but you run for a public office,
And I got
okay?
elected.
And you did get elected. And I just have a problem of, well, politicians are politicians, you know, that's the way it goes. When they state one thing, they do another.
Thank you.
Well, there's no question that we're not going back. We're not eliminating zoning. This isn't a move to eliminate zoning. It was never characterized as such. So what may or may not have been said 2 years ago, I don't know. I don't think it applies here.
I'm Genevieve Irvine, and I'm here today because I love Benner Township and the simplistic way we've been able to live together here. I've been on the planning commission for 10 years, and I've lived in the township for 34 years. I couldn't live with myself if I let this pass without saying something. So I've made together some things that I think I would like you to hear. We don't have a community center in Benner Township. We just have our parks and our township building. So this becomes the hub, and you as the supervisors become our community leaders. So I'd like you to keep that in mind first. You lead the community, you don't make decisions based on what you think yourselves. The supervisors represent the people. We're not a business or a corporation, as I read in the paper. You should make your decisions based on what's best for the people and what the people would want if there could be a vote taken. So you should weigh the pros and cons of the issues. I put the pros here for keeping Renee Swancer on in her position. She enforces the ordinances and the regulations of the township, and she serves as a code enforcement officer. And I point out here, she's not the person who makes the rules and the regulations. She's the person who enforces them. And because she's been working with the township for, I don't know how many years, 19 or something like that, she knows our zoning better than anybody else. It would be a pretty difficult position to have, right now, put somebody in a position who would know the zoning as well as she knows it. I repeat, nobody in the township, including the planning commission, knows the zoning as well as she does. She's the liaison between the zoning hearing board and the supervisors. And she's the liaison between the planning commission and the supervisors. That's a critical thing. She does our minutes, she does our agendas, and she's the link between us. I don't know how we replace that link. She's also an office partner with Sharon Royer. And we cannot begin to quantify the value of that cohesive unit between these two. Together they act as the township managers. They are they do all the correspondence, they're the receptionists, they answer the phones, they do whatever it is it takes this office to be running. A lot more things that are even begin to be in their job descriptions. They just do it because they care about our township. They write the grants, they assist with the summer recreation program. They organize the Easter egg hunt, they facilitate the fall festival, they operate the haunted house event, and those are just things that make us have a good township. They're not things they have to do. They're just things they do because they care. They make us be a community here, not a business or a corporation. Cons, I don't think there's any cons I could state that merit the dismissal of Renee from her position. I would like to request that you rescind your actions to not second the motion to keep her in her position. Why? Well, because as you said, Dave, you'd like to have fresh ideas that take the township in the new directions. Well, the way to start with that is with the PC. It's not to start with dismissing Renee from her position. She doesn't make the rules and regulations, and I can't see how you take us in a new direction by starting by dismissing her. And what you do is you set off a chain reaction that separates people from working together rather than encouraging people to work together. And it's the moral and the right thing to do. I think you should show what you can do for Benner Township before you start dismissing people. And I'd like to finish by saying, years ago my husband was the township supervisor here. When he came on board, there was a secretary who wasn't working out. She wasn't doing her job. They didn't dismiss her. They worked with her. And the township grew, and she grew. If you want to grow this township, you start by working together with us, not by dismissing people. Thank you.